what is decentralization, what is unity of command, span of control. Some of the key terms we'll introduce in this particular unit, that is unit 3 of a principle of management. So now first, many a time we used organization, this is organization, that is organization, but we many times fail to understand what is exactly mean by organization. It is the official building of an organization, or it is just an organization of few people, or or we have also have small businesses like SHG, small help group. Are they organization, or they are some kind of other business entity? Some startups are coming. So can we call them as organization, or it is just something which is bigger that we call an organization like Reliance, Tata? So there are different questions we have. With this chapter, we will have the clarity about what is exactly organization, to what we can call this is organization, or at what stage we can call a particular company or industry as an organization. Okay, so it's a McFarland who is defining what is organization. He is saying an identified group of people contributing towards their efforts towards the attainment of goals is called an organization. So organization doesn't require any building, it doesn't require any formal registration or any legal authority. So whenever few people comes together, more than two people comes together, two or more than two people comes together, and they contribute towards a common objective, a common goal, that is called organization. Okay, maybe a few women from a from a rural background coming together, and they have planned to start something. Say they are going for some kind of small help self-help group. Maybe they are making a tiffin center. Maybe they have started tiffin center. Okay, that is also organization. They are also working towards achieving a common goal. And what is a common goal there? Maybe to arrange a bread and butter for their family. Whatever can be the result. That should be a common goal. So that is organization. So organization doesn't require any big building, that doesn't require any brand name, that doesn't require any formal announcement. So organization can be anything. If suppose tomorrow you guys allocated some kind of project and you have to work together in a team, maybe suppose there are a group of 3 or 4 people, but you are working towards a common goal. You have a common goal that is presenting particular topic. So you are coming together, you are working together, you have a proper channel of communication. Okay, you are working together as a team. So that itself can be called as an organization. So when you have organized structure to complete the job, to attain the common goal, that is called organization. See, name itself is such an organization. Like our body has a different organs. Every organ is doing some or other specialized work, and they are coordinating with each other. Every organ is contributing some particular function, and they are coordinating with each other. One organ cannot replace other organ because everyone has a niche or particular kind of function. So that is how when all the body parts are working together and they are achieving towards a common goal, that is better life. Okay, or to complete the given task. So that is called organization. So our body is an organization of different body parts. So that's why it is called organization. Okay. So what function does organization plays? Okay. So here, whenever discussing organization, consider that you are considering about some kind of organization, some kind of a company. Okay, because we are studying organization as a part for corporate activity, not for social activity. Though we'll take some example from social activity as well. But majorly, whenever we are discussing about organization, a back of mind consider about some kind of a company. So what is organization, or what are the functions of organization? Organization determination of activity. Okay. As an organization, you come together. Let's take an example. I have one very good example. A few days back, a year back, there was a gang rape in Hyderabad. Okay, and after the gang rape, the culprits, though they were not declared culprits, but suspected people were killed. Okay. there were four boys who were killed as an encounter. Okay, and everybody celebrated that. And after that second day, Priyanka Gandhi made a statement that we have failed as an organization. We have failed as an organization. So why she was saying we have failed? Because everybody was celebrating that particular incident. That people were praising police officers. They were giving garlands to those police officers. Everywhere, including politicians, NGOs, everywhere, people were celebrating that particular action because they were looking for instant justice. Normally, we know that there are many cases where justice is delayed for 7 to 8 years in such a heinous crimes. But that day, the police officers delivered instant justice. That's what they celebrated. But at the same time, a known politician, she said, as an organization, we are paid. So what she mean by organization in that particular context? Maybe that will be a very helpful example to understand exactly what is organization. We will just take the same statement in another smaller unit. Suppose tomorrow we all plan to construct a building and we all decide to stay there. So the first day when we start staying there, we'll make an organization. What I mean by organization, we will come together. Okay, we will sit and we will decide. Somebody will be chairperson. Somebody will be an accountant. Somebody will be looking for electricity or some other activity. So we will decide tasks based upon everybody's individual's capacity. Then we'll make certain rules. After 10 nobody will come or whatever. Only 4 people at a time can use a lift or whatever rules we can make. We'll make certain rules. These rules may be not legally enforceable, but this is what we decide and this is what we make in our group. Then we will decide a certain procedure. If somebody has a problem, he can drop a letter in this box or he can write a mail or WhatsApp to a particular group. So we will make certain rules and everybody is supposed to follow those rules. Why everybody needs to follow those rules? As I said, these may not be legally enforceable. If somebody is not following, you cannot send him to jail. Okay, because it is private affair. But still, everybody follows that. Why? Because if we follow those rules, it is going to make our life much simpler. Okay, or much better without any kind of contingencies. Okay, or any kind of problems. If everybody is following their own rules, obviously the system is going to work well. So this is the importance of organization. Okay, and where Priyanka Gandhi was saying that as an organization we are failed. So she is considering the same example that whenever the society has started, maybe some people have come together and they have made some rule. There is something called judiciary which will undergo certain process, and after going through that particular process, they will declare the particular person is culprit or not. But without going through the particular process, if you directly kill or if you directly deliver the justice, then it is something where we have failed as an organization. That means when we sat for a first time to decide certain rules and regulations, we were failed to follow that. That means as a society we have failed. So whatever we have decided that on that first day of commencement, we have not followed that rules. That means somewhere we have found some shortcuts, okay, which may not lead us towards organized society. So that is what she mean by organization. There are some people who came together, they decided that these are the rules, these are the authorities, these are the responsibilities, and we have to follow these rules. And if you fail to follow these rules, and even if it is for a good reason, but that is as an organization we have failed. So that means organization has certain rules and regulations which everybody must follow. If somebody is not following, that means they are not recognizing the importance of that organization. Okay. Because in that same case, one of the boy who was killed on particular day, who was considered as a culprit in that rape case, his wife, she was a pregnant woman, and she had nothing to do with that rape case. She was just a woman, and she was asking justice for her husband. She was saying, even if my husband is guilty, you need to prove it because I think my husband was not guilty, and you have decided, you know, without any proper procedure that he wasn't guilty, and you have just delivered justice. But what about justice to me and my son? or my child. She was also right. She was also right. She is also a woman. If you have delivered justice for one woman and you have denied justice to other women, okay, that's why there comes a importance of organization. If you have an organization, then there are some written rules and you have to follow those rules. If you follow those rules, deliver justice will deliver to everyone. If you find some shortcut, definitely somebody will face music because of somebody else benefit. That's why we have organization, we have a certain rules, and we have to follow those rules. Okay. So what is the functions of organization? Determination of activities. Obviously, once you have developed the organization, you will determine who will do what. You will decide, you will delegate, you will decide activities, and you will allocate those activities to everyone. Grouping the activities, obviously some people will do particular activity, other people will do other activity. So that is how you divide activities in a group, and that will ensure that every group is working their working and completing their given task, so that if everybody is completing their task, ultimately organization will fulfill its goal. Okay. Allotment of duties to specific person, obviously we have discussed. Delegation of authority. What we mean by delegation of authority? Delegation of authority is nothing but transferring authority to somebody else. Giving a responsibility, giving authority to somebody else. Okay, giving delegation doesn't mean that you are giving your task to somebody else. That means you have received a task, maybe it is a bigger task and you alone cannot perform that. So obviously you divide that task between your subordinates or the people you have at your periphery. So you divide those tasks among those people, expecting that everybody will perform their own activity. You not only delegate the activity, but you also delegate the authority. Okay, that means if something goes against their will, they can have authority, they can have a legal power to punish the person who is coming between their work. So that is authority. So delegation of authority, delegation of work as well as authority. Defining the relationship, obviously every individual working in a isolation, but they are interconnected and there is a proper channel for a communication. Okay, and each organ or each group has a relationship with other group. So organization decides and organization defines the relationship of one organ with other organ or one being with other organ. That is easy or that is convenient whenever organization face an issue and they want a coordination between different groups of people. Coordination of various activities, obviously everyone is dependent on other person. Yesterday I was watching a movie called Rio. So there are two birds, one bird who can fly, another bird who cannot fly. So the bird who cannot fly is because he was living continuously with the human beings. So he doesn't know how to fly. But the other bird who was flying was she was living in jungle. So the bird who is living in a jungle, she says, you know, flying is such an advantage that we realize our freedom. Okay, we can fly to highest part. We can live our life according to our convenience. But the bird who cannot fly, he will say, actually it's couple. Okay, the bird who cannot fly, he will say, don't you think living alone or flying alone is such isolation? Because organization or a society will work only when it has interdependence. If tomorrow you are not dependent on anybody, maybe you will not follow the rule of society or you will not follow the rule of organization. That's why dependence is very essential. Dependence is very essential. We are dependent on judiciary. That's why we follow all the rules which are given by judiciary or judicial system. Okay. We are dependent on government. That's why we follow all the instructions given by government. So coordination, dependence is very essential. Since you are dependent on each other, you ensure that others are working at their ease. Or even if you can help them to ensure ease, you will provide your hands to them. So that is why coordination is very important. And coordination is ensured because you are working in one organization. You have a common goal and you are heading towards a common goal. These are some of the functions of organization. Okay, so whenever suppose you have you have some task, or you are given some activity, maybe anything, like maybe you are organizing a Garba event in your own society. Okay, so make sure that you follow certain steps, like delivering delegating activities to everyone, giving some kind of authority, giving some kind of monetary freedom to everyone to perform their job. Every group is dependent on each other. There is a proper channel of communication, like WhatsApp group or whatever, or there is some kind of coordination. There is somebody who is sitting at a prominent place where everybody can reach, you know, to coordinate with other activity or to coordinate with other group. So make sure you follow some kind of rules, or you form an organization to complete that task. If you follow that particular task which is given by organization, there is a high probability that you will succeed in organizing your Garba event. Okay, so you must have realized management is it's not something you have never read or you have never faced. It is a regular activity. The only thing is it will give you more clarity. It will give you more clarity. It will help you to assign a work. It will help you to decide a work. It will help you to compartmentalize the work. So management is not something new. It is giving some new concepts maybe, but these are the concepts which we have already used, or you are already aware. The only thing is these are you know presented in a well coordinated, well defined, specific form that will give you more clarity. Okay. So what are the characteristics of organization? Division of labor. We have just discussed. Division of labor. Everyone is given a particular work to maintain an organization. Okay. What I mean by division of labor. In a social organization, consider family as an organization. Family is also organization because in a family, maybe in a family we are heading towards a common goal. And that common goal is again betterment of life. Okay. So in a family, work is divided between family members. Like in a social organization, mother will take care of all the household activities. Mother will take care of elderly people. Mother will take care of children. Whereas the responsibility of father is to take care of economic activity or whatever activity they are doing outside, which brings the resources to family. Okay, not only money but other resources as well. So father provides a security to family. Father provides economic support to family. Father supports by doing taking different important decisions. Though this is debatable topic, but this is a commonly we will see in a division of labor in a society. So even in an organization, there are different departments which are totally different tasks. So this is first characteristic of organization, that organization must have a division of labor. Everybody cannot do all the tasks, or all people cannot do one task. So there should be division of task, division of labor to every group or every person who is there in a group. Maybe there are only two people, so they have a divided the work. One will look for a marketing, another person will look for a production. And this is enough. This is enough for a small scale industry. They can perform this activity even by dividing a task between two people. So division of labor is very essential to ensure that everybody is doing their own activity. There should be coordination, or obviously organization should be connected with each other. There can be a straight line, there can be a matrix, there can be different form of coordination. There can be a single line of authority, like so, sales officer is contacting with area sales manager, then area sales manager is coordinating with regional sales manager, then regional sales manager with zonal sales manager, zonal sales manager will coordinate with sales head, then sales head will coordinate with CEO. So CEO will coordinate with ultimately chairperson of a company. So this is a coordination. Or there can be a different type of coordination, like in a startup companies. Normally everybody works on a similar platform. There is nobody a boss, there is nobody a subordinate. So everybody works on a similar platform. Like recently you can take an example of an academy. Okay, you can take an example of an academy where four friends they came together and they started their education industry, academic industry. So obviously there was nobody was boss and nobody was subordinate. They equally divided task among themselves. They coordinated with each other. They have decided the particular timing for a meeting whenever they want. They have coordinated with each other. They are dependent on each other's work. Okay, and they were heading towards a common objective. And that common objective, whatever they are saying, is delivering education at affordable price. Okay, even to a remote location. Since it's an online platform, anybody can access education by sitting anywhere, because we know the penetration of telephone is 75%. That means 75% of people in India have mobile phone. Okay, and mobile phone is enough. You don't require a laptop, you don't require iPad, you don't require any high gadget to access education. Even on a simple phone, you can access education. In fact, during lockdown, we have seen those industries who are into this business, they have performed very well. They have performed very well. Today, every school, even a normal school, have online education. Because from last 1 year, they are doing same thing. Okay, so then they are heading towards a common objective. We have taken example of an academy. You have a Baichu, you have a many organizations which are providing online education. Okay, so this is achieving a common objective. Authority and responsibility structure. So many a time we use authority and responsibility as a synonym, but there is a little difference between authority and responsibility. Authority is backed by legal measures. Okay, that means suppose somebody is area sales manager, so he has some authority. He can give you certain kind of incentives, he can give you certain kind of memos, or he can punish you for whatever things you have done, or he can reward you for something which you have done it. So authority is backed by some kind of legal. Legal doesn't mean only a IPC. Legal means even particular organization will have particular backup, like it is supported by organization itself. So this person will have these powers. So it is given to that person. So this is authority. So authority is backed by certain kind of powers or legal measures, like IS officer or collector of particular district will have a certain authority which is backed by the system itself. Okay. What about responsibility? Does responsibility doesn't have a legal measure? Maybe or may not be. But responsibility is definitely more than authority. Responsibility is more than authority. Authority is only related with certain tasks which are aligned to that particular post. But responsibility is more than that. Consider that you are area sales manager and you have authority to deliver a particular number. Say you have a target of 50 lakh rupees. Okay, this is authority. You have to do all the things which are necessary to achieve that 50 lakh rupees. Maybe some employee is not working well, you can remove him. You want to appoint a new employee, you can do this. This is your authority. This much power is given to your post. What is responsibility? Responsibility is more than authority. Here, you may not consider a shifting an employee. You may not consider appointing a new employee instead of existing employee. Maybe as a responsible area sales manager, you will take a responsibility that particular person is not performing well. Maybe because of me. Maybe because I have not given enough training to that person. That's why this person is not capable to deliver that number. So I will work with him. I will understand his problem and I will give a required qualities to that person, skills to that person, so that that person will also perform the like others are performing. So responsibility is more than authority. Responsibility is taking or considering yourself responsible for something which is going against the organization objective. It is not giving somebody else or considering somebody else responsible. So taking a responsibility, it is definitely more than authority. Authority will only limited to given a task, but responsibility is also acting on the things which is not given, but you have taken this as a responsibility. Like area sales manager job is to deliver the number. Okay, he will do that. It's his authority. But when it comes to responsibility, he will ensure that every employee, every subordinate of that particular manager is performing well, getting enough incentives, and they are getting a new skills while doing that job. That means he is developing self, he is developing his subordinates, his people, he is also developing the market. This is responsibility. So responsibility has a larger canvas compared to authority. Authority is just a given task. That's it. If you are completing that, it's your job. Nobody can blame you for that if you have done it. But responsibility is a larger context. You take a responsibility of something which is not given to you, but you take as your responsibility because you think this post must have these responsibilities. So there is a difference with authority and responsibility. Maybe government officers are working because they have authority, but there are many NGOs who are not getting any kind of salary, but still they are doing this job because they think we have something to do society. We have something to do with society, and we have to perform this task, irrespective of whatever we are compromising here. Maybe we are compromising our own personal life, but still they are doing it because they consider it's their responsibility. So authority and responsibility has a different meaning. Okay, but organization has both authority as well as responsibility structure. Authority structure, as I said, that chain, ASM, RSM, ZSM, sales manager, CEO, chairperson. Whereas responsibility is not given by organization itself, but people consider themselves as a part of organization, and they consider or they perform all the activities which is required to sustain organization. Maybe sometimes they have to take some harsh decision, but they will take it because they consider themselves as a responsible and they want organization to sustain. This is characteristic of communication. Obviously, we have discussed every organ communicate with other organ, and that is how they perform particular task. Whenever they want a help, whenever they find that particular organization is not, particular group is not working as per the requirement, and there needs some changes, in a particular group so that other group can perform well. Maybe the design which is not working perfectly, or maybe they are not getting the needed resources from a logistic team, so they can communicate with that logistic team. See, we are not getting resources on time, and that's why organization is suffering because we are not able to reach to maximum customers. Definitely. Then works the communication, like a government hospitals or today every hospital or vaccination center are working working as an organization, right? Somebody is providing vaccination to hospitals, then the staff is getting a training and they are giving vaccines to citizens. Okay, they are also working as a team. They are working in an organization. If suppose they are not getting vaccines on a time, or they are not getting the clarity when they are going to get a vaccine, so obviously they will not be able to give a satisfied answer to their citizens, and that is what happening in today's scenario. So this is how you develop a communication network for a faster communication, for a clear communication between you and your team, and also with the outside people. This is important characteristics, some of the important characteristics of organization. Okay. So what are the advantages if we build an organization? Obviously, it facilitates administrations. Okay, we have seen organization makes a written document of everything, whatever they are doing, through which you can trace every activity which you have done it in the past. Okay, so facilitate administration, you will get a clear picture at a particular point. If you call administrative office and you ask what is the position of particular goods, they will say, sir, it's in truck, you are getting it in a day or two. So this is the administration part. So organization facilitates administration because everything is in a transparent manner. Transparency is very essential in organization. So it facilitates administration and transparency. It increases management efficiency. Efficiency again it is about input and output. It is about productivity. So if organization using its input very cautiously, definitely they are going to get a better output, that is better productivity. Okay, so different practices, they will ensure they are using their inputs judiciously and their output are at a maximum level. So this is called the principle of productivity. It encourages creativity and initiation. Obviously, if there is an organization, everybody wants to perform well, to get a better position, to get a better name in organization. And for that, they will work hard to show new creativity and initiation. There is a high scope for innovation in an organization. Since they have a common objective, they know where they are heading, they know what are the benefits they will get if they achieve that particular goal. So obviously that motivates people to work hard, and that leads to innovation. Okay, since they are going towards efficiency, and to achieve efficiency, you have to try for a new ways. How can you reduce your input? How can you increase your output? How can you reduce the time which taken by system to convert input into output? So this is a continuous activity, and that leads to new innovations. Facilitate coordination. Obviously, if there is an organization, there is a proper channel of communication that will ensure that every other group is dependent on other group, and that is how it introduce coordination among themselves. Okay, instead of conflict, it will lead to coordination. If there is no organization, if everybody is working according to their own convenience, maybe that will lead to conflict. Okay, it's not my job. But since everybody knows their job, it is well defined, it is well understood by every employee, it leads to coordination instead of conflict. Adaptation of new technology. We know very well the biggest challenge that any company faces is preparing your employees for a change. Nobody wants to accept a change easily. Okay, even today, people are not easily accepting lockdown because they are not habitual to staying at home for 15 days or a month. But but organization, as an organization, government is trying to inculcate that change into people. They are trying to make them understand why it is essential. Okay, every time you cannot introduce a police force. Sometimes you have to make people understand the importance of staying at home. Okay, so to introduce a change, you have to work as a community or as an organization. So at one point of time, media is playing their role. Other side, police force is also playing their role. Other side, municipal commission is also playing their role. Okay, so minister or politicians are playing their role. So everybody at their status or at their level, trying to convince people to accept the change. Okay, so similarly, when any organization introduce any new change, they have to communicate with their employee. Okay, and when they are accepting a change, obviously there needs a proper communication from every group. Suppose tomorrow organization thinks that while salesperson booking through the market, we need to track their location. Okay, we must know where employees working at this particular time. So most of the companies are following this technology now. Obviously, employees will not accept it because being a salesperson, maybe they have a habit or they were habitual to work according to their convenience. Maybe market starts at 10 o'clock, they will start at 12 o'clock because anyhow, ultimate aim is what? To complete the market, and I will complete even if I start at 12 o'clock. But the moment they will get that new handset or something which is having surveillance on them, they will not accept it. They will deny to accept it. But as an organization, when you communicate, like salesperson is communicating, IT team is communicating, the benefits of tracking your location. We will give you a lot of data about the particular market. Like in this market, you are spending this much time on particular outlets, and this much time you are spending on this outlets. So that means you are not utilizing your time properly. If you give you that input, maybe you will be able to do your task much faster, and you will be able to finish your market at an early point of time, so that you can spend more time with the family. So you have to convince your own people that what is a benefit of new technology. Then only people will accept the change. And this is possible only when you are working in an organization. If there is a similar communication from every side, if every department is communicating differently to the salespeople or the people who are at a receiving side, maybe they will get confused. Maybe they will get confused and they will oppose for a change. But if they are getting the same communication from every side or every wing or every department, maybe there is a high chances they will accept faster, or they will convince that this new technology is for us. This is going to benefit to us. This is going to make my task easy. Okay. So this is one of the advantages of organization. Assist growth and diversification. Obviously, if you are working in an organization like see, Jio has Reliance has a many products. Okay, so when they launch Jio under the name of Reliance Jio. Okay, so that help in diversification. How would that help in diversification? Mukesh Ambani must have taken some of the people from its older organization, maybe somebody who is not working directly in a telecom, but they are associated with Reliance. So they know the core principle, the core objective of Reliance. So that will help in introducing new market, introducing or diversifying company into new segment. Maybe the people who are working in Geo today, they may they may get recruitment in a dish TV or whatever that channel is, Reliance is planning to launch. So they will get entry into different departments, and that help into diversification. See, people are same, but they will help in diversification and growth of organization. Why? Because they are aware about core principle of organization. If if company appoint a new people, maybe that will engulf a lot of time to train them, to make them understand the core belief system or work culture of that organization. If there are old people, they are very well aware about the work culture. That irrespective of whatever expense we are making, company will not bother. What they want a better result to their customer. They want to satisfy their customer. They want to delight their customers. So this is a work culture. Maybe the old people are aware. So they will take all the actions. They will take, they will deliver. They will give all the authority to their employees to ensure the core objective of organization should be sustained. So this is advantage of organization. It helps in diversifying and growth of the organization. Optimum utilization of resources. Obviously, as an organization, you work together, so you know the value of every resource, and you make sure that every resource should be sustained. There is something called forward and backward linkages. This will be see when we look organizational behavior. But still, for introduction, through forward and backward linkages, organization ensures. Suppose you are doing a business of jeans, you are manufacturing garment. Okay, so you are just manufacturing garment and you are selling it to customer, and then they are, it's a white label. Then they are branding it on their name and they are selling it. So what you will do in forward and backward linkages, as an organization, you realize where we can save our resources. Can we reduce some of the input cost? Can we have a better output or more result from our output? So what you can think of? Suppose you are manufacturing garment, maybe you can start, or maybe you can buy a farm and grow your own cotton. The quality or the kind of quantity you want, you can grow yourself. So you can come one step back and you can manage your own resources. That will reduce the cost of input. Or going one step ahead, instead of selling it to other companies as a white label, means they can sell. White label is you are just getting manufactured, without any name. You are putting your brand on that particular product, and you are selling as your product. So there are many companies who do this, like Nike, Adidas. They don't have their manufacturing plant. They just get manufacturing from somebody else, and they put their tag and they sell it their product. So as a garment manufacturer, you can think of putting your own brand, investing in your marketing, and getting a higher output. Okay, maybe you can think of this. So this is advantage of organization. You can always think of going backward and forward linkages to make more profit, to reduce the cost of manufacturing. So this is possible because you are working in the organization. So these are some of the advantages we have seen about organization. In notes, you can have many more advantages, but I think whatever we have discussed, these are enough, and they are just replication of these advantages. Okay, classification of organization. There are two kinds of organization which you can classify. Okay, one is formal organization and second is informal organization. Many times you also heard organized and unorganized sector. They are something similar, but definitely there is a difference if you go into a deep meaning of both the terms, like formal organization, informal organization. organized sector, unorganized sector. We will see difference. For our syllabus, we have only formal and informal, but we'll also discuss organized and unorganized sector. So what we mean by formal organization? In a formal organization, just to understand formal organization, imagine any large company which you know. Okay, any large company, maybe Jio, Tata, any large company which you know. Okay, Apple. So organization is clearly defines the duties, responsibilities, authority, and relationship with each other. Okay, duties, responsibilities, authority, and relationship with each other. In a big organization, you will definitely have many wings, many departments: sales department, marketing department, logistic department, finance department, account department, many other departments. Okay, so there are different departments. Every department is clear about their duty, what they are going to contribute towards the achievement of objective, what is a role and what they are representing in that organization. That is clearly defined to them. They know their authority, what powers they have. They know their responsibility. If they are not performing their role, as per expectation, what implication it will have on the overall growth of organization. They are aware about it. They are aware their relationship with each other. Okay, so there is always a formal communication. Suppose a person from logistic team is writing to my marketing team. Obviously, he will write to marketing team, but as he is writing to marketing team, he will put marketing team into loop. But as well as he will keep the CEO or the salesperson or sales head or his head into a loop in the CC. Why? Because there is a formal communication between them. So there are formal channels for a communication in a formal organization. Okay. In a larger organization, normally we will see all the organization works in a formal way because it's very difficult to manage. It is very difficult to manage such a large organization in informal ways. Okay. As an example of a formal organization, you can take a government organization. There are different departments: police department, law and order department, revenue collection department. There is sales tax department. There are many departments in a government itself. Okay, it is essential to maintain a formal coordination, formal relationship between these organizations to get a better result. Okay, so to understand or to make coordination or to ensure that all the departments work in a harmony, you need to establish first a formalization. Okay, this department will report to this department will coordinate to this department in this way. So everything is in a written form. Everything is in a written form. Okay, people are very well aware about how to coordinate or how to raise their voice. Suppose you are filing a RTI. Suppose you are filing a RTI. So what you will do? You will go to that particular department and you write whatever RTI you have. Then it will get addressed by that department. If it does not get addressed by this department, PIO will come into it. If PIO is not coming into a picture, then CVC will come into picture. If even CVC will not come into picture, minister will come into picture. So there is a formal chain of communication. Okay, you cannot directly go to court or you cannot directly go to minister, asking for information of particular department because there is a formal chain of communication. There is a formal organization. Every department is aware about their duties. If they doesn't perform as per the requirement, then definitely complaint will raise to next level. So there is a clearly defined roles, responsibilities, authority in formal organization. I hope it is very clear about what is a formal organization. Okay, let's see some of the characteristics of formal organization. It is properly planned. We have discussed. They are properly planned. They know where they are heading, what are their targets. They know how we are going to achieve those targets, and that's how they have planned their actions. They have planned their activities. It is based on delegated authority, definitely. Since it's a formal organization, there are a lot of people involved in a particular activity, and since there are a lot of people are involved in doing a particular activity, everyone is delegated their authority. They know what is my boundary of power. They know how much I have to do. If something I'm doing outside my authority, I have to take a permission from my seniors or the related department. Okay, it is deliberately impersonal. Obviously, in organization, everything is impersonal. You are doing or you are giving a particular task to that particular post, not to that person. Okay, many a time, when you have a hot conversation with your boss, or even in the future, if you have any kind of hot conversation with your subordinates, make sure you clear. You should clear. See, I don't have anything against you as a person. It is about a job. So don't take it as a personal. It is about a job. It's supposed to be performed by you and you have not performed. That means your post has not delivered the number, or your post has not delivered the given task. And entire company is going to suffer because of it. That's why I'm saying this to you. So it is nothing personal with you. It is about post. So after delivering this task or after this discussion, we will be again on the same page. Okay. In organization, things are blamed or achievements are given to that particular post, not to that person. So that's why organization is called deliberately impersonal. So nothing is about a person. It is all about that particular designation or particular post. Okay. It provides a division of labor. We have already discussed the division of what is division of labor. In the organization also we have a division of labor. In social organization also we have division of labor. That is nothing but dividing a task. Organization charts are drawn. Every organization knows the formal communication. Okay, organization chart is there. At the top, maybe some top management level, then who are at a middle level, then who are at the first level, then who are at a ground level. So every organization, formal organization, has a clearly drawn chart so that they know their progress, so that they should know how much I can grow in this organization. Okay, who are sitting at on top of me. Again, it's impersonal. It is about a post, not about the name of that particular person. Okay, so organization charts are clearly drawn in formal organization. It is essential because they should know who is heading to whom. Unity of command is maintained. What we mean by unity of command? Unity of command means only one person is giving order to you. Unity of command means only one person is giving you order. If you get order from different departments or from a different person at a time, maybe you get confused. So in a formal organization, there is clearly defined a channel of communication. You will get order from this particular post only, or this particular designation only, and you have to follow all the orders given by this designation. If you are getting order from somebody else, you can simply deny or you can simply communicate. Sir, my unity of command says that I have to follow order of this designation, not this designation. If you want to give some order to me, you can come through proper channel. You can give the same command or same order to my boss and he will communicate to me. If I get from that particular channel, then definitely I will follow your orders. Otherwise, sorry. So there is a clear unity of command maintained in formal organization. You will get order from only one source. Okay, that will ensure there is a clarity. There should not be any duplication of order, and there should not be any duplication of command. Okay, one person is saying something else, another person is saying something else. So you would get a confused. So there will not be any clarity in your role. And the formal organization's advantage is clarity of role. So that's why unity of command is very essential. So everyone has only one boss. And he will get order from that one boss only. Or that one channel only. So this is unity of command. Okay. Responsibility and accountability at all levels, obviously in formal organization. Every post, every level has certain accountability and responsibility. If something is not happening, obviously that person will be responsible. Like many a time you must have heard or must have read about, after a train accident, a railway minister resigns. After a train accident, railway minister resigns. You must be shocked. What railway minister has to do with the railway accident? It may be because of driver's mistake or the person who was guiding to that journey of train may be responsible. Why minister has to responsible? Because everything is predefined. If something goes wrong, this person will be responsible. This is already done. This is already defined. So according to norms, if something goes wrong in railway, it is a responsibility of railway minister. So he has to ensure that all technologies are upgraded, all railway lines are getting a proper signals, all drivers are trained, or whatever a mistake that is leading to railway accident, it will be because of railway minister or because of negligence of railway minister, or he is not able to perform his task well. That's why there is a railway accident. So this is similar happens even in a corporate organization. Everything is predefined. If numbers are not delivered, you cannot say that particular sales officer of a Nasik or the particular officer of Patna has not delivered a number. You have to take a responsibility. You have not given him proper training, or you have not provided him a proper resources. That's why he is not able to deliver a number. Or even if he is not, even if he is not capable of delivering a number, why you have selected him? That means there is a mistake from you while selecting the particular candidate, or while targeting him for an entire year or entire month. You must have gone through a control part. That means he is not achieving a number. He is not, on a right path. So you have always contacted him, or you have always informed him that you are not on your target. So you should suggest him the alternative way to achieve his number. So that means it's your responsibility or manager's responsibility that particular person is not delivering number. So that manager has to take a responsibility of not delivering a number by the particular employee. Okay, so this is everything is defined. So everybody is aware about their role. That's why they work very cautiously. They cannot just transfer the responsibility from one person to another person. They have to take a responsibility. Okay, these are the some of the characteristics of formalization. Okay, so last slide for today is okay. Last two slides. Advantages of formal organization. We have discussed in detail. I hope you won't require any explanation for these advantages, because you yourself, after understanding organization, you yourself can imagine or can note down some of the advantages and disadvantages of formal organization. First advantage, the definite boundaries of each one. Exactly. Everybody has certain boundary of their work. They cannot go beyond their boundary. Okay, even if they are going, they have to give a formal communication, or they have to take a permission from a department that we are entering into somebody else area. So can we? If everybody is in loophole, that other department as well as seniors of both the department, then only you can move to that area. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, like for example, you are working in a general trade. General trade in the sense the regular market which we have, a traditional market, chemist, GMGR, provincial stores, general stores, whatever kind of stores you are working in a general trade. And somebody, your colleague, who is working in key accounts. Key accounts are something like Big Bazaar, D-Mart, Reliance Mart. Both the departments are different. Okay, in an organization, both the departments work in a different. There is a clear different channel of communication. Their bosses will be different. Their department will be completely different. If a person from a general trade is going to a key account like a Big Bazaar or a D-Mart, then definitely he have to keep his colleague informed that I am going to your area or your chain because of some work, and it should be also communicated to your boss, boss of general trade, also a boss of modern trade should be informed, so that everybody should be aware that this activity is going on. You cannot just move, or you cannot just cross your boundary without informing anyone. So there is a clear definite boundary of every worker. That avoids a duplication of work. Okay, that avoids a duplication of resources, wastage of resources. Exact standard of performance. Obviously, every employee in a formal organization knows this is a standard of performance. Okay, if I have to, get a promotion, if I want to have a better position in an organization, I have to follow a certain standards. Okay, if I follow those standards, definitely I will get a promotion or early promotion. So yesterday we have discussed key performing indicators. every employee has given a key performing indicators. If you achieve those key performing indicators, ultimately you will get what you want, because you have achieved the organization objective. Obviously your objectives will also be get into consideration, so both will grow together. That is, we have discussed MBO, management by objective. Okay, a sense of security, obviously in a formal organization everything is a written form. A boss cannot say you kal se mat aana, don't come from a tomorrow. The boss cannot say that. So there is some kind of sense of security. You will get a proper appointment letter when you are appointed. Obviously, you will get a proper termination letter when organization want to remove you. Okay, even if they want to transfer you, you should get official communication about your transfer. So there is some kind of security in a formal organization compared to informal organization where nothing is written. A person can simply say, "Bhai kal se mat aana." Okay, so there is some kind of security in formal organization to employees, to organization, and to customer also. Okay, so everybody is in a secured form, less dependent on one man. Since organization is built by people, organization is dependent on people, but organization is not dependent on one people. Since since entire system is constructed, entire system is in a place. Okay, even if one person moves from that organization, entire organization will not get affected. Somebody else will replace that person. Okay, but if if something is dependent on one person, something in an informal organization, if everybody is dependent on one person, and if one person moves to other company or moves to other organization, then entire organization may get affected. Okay, that is one of the advantage of formal organization. Disadvantage of formal organization: may reduce spirit of initiation. May, obviously it is a may reduce the spirit of initiation, because something you want to suggest to organization, but maybe you are not at that level where you can introduce something to top management. Then obviously you cannot reach there. And even if you want to reach there, you have to go through formal channels, and that will involve a lot of time. Or maybe your innovation or your concept may not go to the desired person or the higher top management. Okay, so formal communication takes a lot of time to communicate something. Like you go to a government office and you put a request for something, that will take a lot of time. Like we have to go to this person, then that department, then that table, and then we'll get a permission from there, and then inspection will happen. If inspection comes a positive, then we will come to you. So there are a lot of processes which consume a lot of time in formal organization. Whereas in informal organization, maybe you can just call a person, you can ask like, I got a request from this thing, can we give him approval? If that person says yes, you can immediately then and there give permission to that person. So there is a difference between formal and informal organization. Even after having a lot of advantage of formal organization, there are some disadvantages. That is, it reduces the spirit of initiation. This is a time-taking process, and it may reduce the speed of informal communication. Since in a formal communication you have to go through a proper channel, you cannot, even if your boss, your super boss is sitting next to you, you cannot just directly ask him something. You have to go through your boss. You have to write mail to your boss. Maybe your boss is sitting somewhere else. Then he will write mail to his boss, and his boss will get you approval to his subordinate, and then he will get a approval from your boss. Okay. So it reduces the speed of communication, informal communication. So this is one of the disadvantages.